All right. All right. So I am Paul Gentili. I'm one of the sales managers over here at GlueUp. I've been here for almost a year and a half now. It's crazy how quickly time flies. Um, so GlueUp, as all of you that are on here could probably tell, we are an all-in-one association management software. Our story, we've actually been around for 12 years as a company. Our founders, they worked with membership-based organizations, and the software out there, they were like, okay, there has to be something better. And that's kind of what they made. They made something better, something that really tackled events, but also they wanted to tackle memberships and connect email marketing and stuff like that, put it kind of all in one place. And so that's what they did. Their whole idea was we just want to have you manage your engagement all in one place. So think of like not just the email marketing, but also think of like managing tasks, having your members be able to use like an app, and in the app they can connect with the other members. So kind of like a whole community thing. So we also had that as part of our offerings. So in the 12 years that we've been around, we are now working with over 1,500 membership-based organizations in 70 countries in 6 continents. We do not have anyone in Antarctica yet. If you can think of any membership-based organization, any association that's in Antarctica, please send them our way as a referral. It'd be nice to get the 7th one there. So one of the ways that we really help a lot of our partners out, we can automate so many aspects when it comes to the membership workflow. And I'll kind of get into the actual platform itself to show how a lot of this works. But in essence, the membership application, then sending the invoice automatically, having them pay, automatically turning on their membership, which gives them access to the member portal, discounts for event tickets, puts them in different email campaign groups. And then when it comes to their renewal, the whole expiration stuff we can also automate. So the emails that they would get saying, hey, you're coming up for renewal, and having the invoice automatically created. If they have a credit card on file, they can even be completely auto renewed. And then once they're renewed, they just go through and do another year of membership or another month or quarter or however you have your memberships set up. We also have dashboards pretty much everywhere throughout the platform. So here, this is an example of the membership dashboard that you could see. So you can set up a dashboard where you could see all your different tiers, how many are under the application stage, how many are members, how many applications are awaiting payments of our members, how many are corporate, how many are individual. You could pretty much set this dashboard however you want and make it so it completely fits what your organization needs to see. And the nice thing about this is this data will always be like real time. So if you have a board member that's like, hey, we want to see like how many new members have we gotten versus churn and stuff like that. Like you can have that report instantly since it's going to be there in your dashboard. From the event side too, we'll have a dashboard for that where you can see how many events. You can completely create events with us and manage the registration, manage attendance. But when you want to look at the entire scope of your events for the rest of this year or for next year, you could see, all right, like how many events do we have? How many people have checked in to XYZ event? What's our profit loss from all these events? The dashboards can kind of do all of that stuff. So speaking of events, checking people in for events, very easy to do. We have 3 different ways to do it. You could do it through a computer. We have apps where you can do it. I'll show you a little bit more about apps in a moment. But many ways to do check-ins, and you can create badges with us too. And some of those badges can look, like got a couple of badge examples here. You can make it look like the simple ones, kind of like that, or you can even make like, more my background's kind of blurring it, but more flashy ones, kind of like that. We also have our own email campaign system, and I'll show what this looks like. But a lot of people when they're moving to us, they're using, maybe some system, and they're using MailChimp or Constant Contact to do the email parts because some other systems, the way that you do emails is maybe not as user friendly, or the emails can't look a certain way. With us, we don't have that problem. Like you can actually design the emails, make it look super. It's super user friendly to make an email, and you can totally have it look like a great design when you're sending out these campaigns. And then after you send the emails, you can see the analytics for it, just like you would anywhere else. Like we could see how many clicks the emails have had, who is clicking on, like which link are they clicking on too? So is it the register link they're clicking on, or is it the become a new member? So you'll have access into that. If you currently also have a website that you would like redone, or if you're connected to another platform where your website was made through them, we can then make a new website for you. Drupal is the code that we use for making websites. It's a competitor to WordPress. Our websites are great though. They're easy to set up, easy to manage after they're set up. They're SEO optimized, they're mobile responsive. You can do things like the membership directory, you can do a job board. There's a bunch of things that you can do with our websites. And then this is what the community part looks like. And I'll like literally show more about how you can do posts and things like that. But this is the place where your members can engage with each other. More engagement from member to member, it just helps with renewals, right? So this is a place where they can ask questions, they can message each other, message you, they can see all the events that are happening. They can also manage what people are seeing, like the different things that people can see in the directory. Like I can manage what people are able to see about myself. And you can see like when your renewal is coming up and stuff like that. And then the last slide here, and then I'll hop right into the platform. We have two apps. We have an app for your members. And with this app is where they can do all the member engagement stuff, but it's also like an event all-in-one app too. So if you've ever used like Whova or something like that, very similar capabilities on when it comes to what you can do for an event with us. And that's going to be on the member app. And then we have the manager app, which is where you can manage an event. You can check in people, but you can also completely manage memberships too. Like if you get an application and you want to approve it after looking at it, things like that. Like you can manage aspects of membership through the manager app. So without further ado, let me go ahead and hop here on the platform. Let me make this a little bigger. So I'm on the admin side right now of the Google platform. Here on the admin side, the first thing anyone sees is the dashboards, as I mentioned earlier. So like if you have that board member that's like, all right, in the last 30 days, what's our new member to churn rate? You can change this around up and people can see it. What's cool is all these other parts of the dashboard, like you can click and move things around, and this is going to be off of me, off my login. So if I am working with an association that has 7 employees, all 7 of us can have completely different dashboards just based off of what our role is and what we care to do. So you can see this is where you change all like the widgets and stuff like that. Now, when it comes to like setting up the system and how you control the information you collect when people fill out applications and stuff like that, one of the first things you're going to do when you're setting up the system is you're going to control the fields that you want to live in the database. Creating any sort of field, pretty easy. You just click add field and it will load like it is now. And then these are all the choices we have. So we have short text, we have comment box, you can do a date, you can do single choice, multiple choice, you can do cascading choice, which is like that logic-based thing. Like, do you like fireworks? And if they say yes, then you can list down all the different types of fireworks, that exist. So that way they'd select, which type of firework they like. You could also do file uploads too. So, if you're part of like a medical association and you want people to upload their medical license when they're applying for membership, that's like a requirement. That's something that you can have here. I'll call it license, add its contact form, make it a mandatory thing. So that way people always fill it out. And you could also build fields on the company level too. If you do a corporate type membership, then you control then all the fields when a company is also trying to register. You could set different application forms for all the different tiers of memberships that you might have and things like that. And modifying any sort of application form, you could do it at any point in the future. So if like every 6 months you want to change the form, you can. You could always leave it the same too, of course. But you can see here, there's trash cans. If I want to get rid of a field, I just click a trash can, or if I want to add a field, I click it here. And the cool part is if I completely forgot to create a field, I can actually create the field from here too. So it's a nice little shortcut. And again, you can choose, what's mandatory or what's not editable, things like that. All right. And then very quickly, I am going to showcase the different membership settings that you can do. So with us, one thing that's nice about us, by the way, since we are still owned by our original founders, we're not part of like a private equity or conglomerate or anything like that. And so the nice thing is we get to enhance our platform all the time, get to do updates. So a couple of updates are actually going to be on these pages here. Excuse me. So if you do have an international organization, we do support many, many currencies, so you can totally tie all those in. We do now have the ability for you to do, so you can do auto renewals, as you can see. You can also do installment payments. So if you allow memberships that are annual, let's say they're for $1,000, and you want to let people pay monthly or quarterly, so they're committing to the $1,000, but they're choosing if they want to pay it like in monthly or quarterly installments to save like their cash flow. You can totally do things like that. Another nice thing is we also let you push credit card processing fees to your members if you want to. And you could even make it optional. Like if I unclick this box, they're going to see that there's a processing fee there and the box we check, but they can uncheck it if they don't want to pay. Like you can leave a note like, hey, we're a nonprofit. If you're able to pay this, it'll be helpful, and leave it to them to decide if they want to, or you can make it mandatory, which is I think what a lot of people do. On the settings side, we also have the ability for you to do membership promo codes. This could be used for two different places. One, it could be used if you have any sort of like seasonal special. So we're doing a summer savings. Come join the Pauly G Association and save 25% in the summer by putting in, summer savings, right? You can do something like that. Or you could even do a thing where if you have like affiliates or ambassadors, you can make discount codes for them. And you can see over here, I could see how many times this was used. So that way I can now see, oh, great, like XYZ ambassador sold 10 things from us. So now we'll go give them, a hat because they sold us 10 memberships. You can run reports and do things like that. Now, when you're making membership tiers, so we do have both individual and corporate, so both can work however you'd like. And when you're making any sort of membership, when you're making like a membership tier, you first give it the name. So I'll just call this Apologies Membership Bronze. We'll make this one a corporate one. For corporates, you can put member limits. So if you only say, hey, only 5 employees get to be members, or if you leave it blank, then it'll be unlimited and as many people can be there as needed. You do the duration, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, it goes all the way to 15 years, or you can do lifetime or 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, 15 months. So you can, break things up that way. You can do tier pricing, activate auto renewals. You choose the application forms here that are going to be associated. Great. By the way, I just got a great question here. Do you charge for updates? Most of them, no. All the updates I've talked about so far would not be charged for. They are just added value to your account. We do have some, like for instance, we did an Outlook integration. So if you're using Outlook to send your emails and you want all your one-to-one emails to track on profiles, which I'll show shortly, that is something that's an add-on because we have to pay for those integrations and stuff like that. So that is a case where yes, that would be a paid one. But all these other updates that I've talked about so far, they were just value added, for no extra charge. All right, so we got all these things going on right here. I'm going to click save and continue. Now I do the price. So let's say this one tier is $500. I am not doing application fee or renewal fee, and then I have the advanced pricing. We turned off installment payments in this fake association example, but if you had that on, then that's where you can also choose Do you want to allow people to do monthly or not? You can also do application discounts if you wanted to. So like, let's add in for their first year, they save 10% off. Which in that case is 45 bucks, or 450 bucks is what the new thing would be. We also have the ability for you to sell products that are going to be tied to memberships, whether that's like a t-shirt, a hat, things like that. Now this workflow settings, this is where you want to choose how automated you want the application workflow to be. So for instance, the way this one reads right here, they're going to apply. Someone in our association is going to approve the application. We're going to look at it, make sure they fit in the right tier. After we click approve, the system will send them an email automatically with a link for them to pay the membership due, and they can pay it by credit card, ACH. If you choose check, then when they do that, they'll get an invoice after and where to send the check. And then after they pay, they're members. You can even bypass the approval step if you want to. So like they'll be on our website, they'll apply, they'll pay, they're members. That's it. We don't do any work. It was all like a self-checkout. We got a new member, yay for us. Or maybe we only approve them after they pay because they're serious, we got their money. So now let's look at their application, make sure they fit. And the nice thing is, if you have multiple tiers, you can have different workflows for every single tier. So like for me, the top tier that we have, make that completely automated. If they're really ready to pay the most amount of money possible, let's just take it. And the smallest tier, maybe we approve that one because we can try to call to upsell them or something like that, right? So you can set up different workflows for the different stages. And then the expiration workflow, the renewal workflow. So how many days before their renewal do we want to start them in the renewal process? It can be custom, but it's built for increments of 15 days. And then how many days do we want to allow their grace period? So if they're behind on payments and stuff like that, when do we want their member benefits to get shut off automatically by the team? I just got another question here. If we require approval, could we have the applicant enter and have their CC information to be stored, and upon approval, it charges their credit card? That is a great question. So that's not how the system works. If they do this stage, I mean, I guess you could create a field that, could collect that information. But the way the system is set up, after you approve it, the system will then send them the email automatically for them to put in their credit card information. And then from there, they would be able to store it. So it's like when I say they get the email, they get it like instantly, like within 10 seconds of you clicking approve, is when they get the email to pay. So it's like very, very, very fast. All right, and then last part here, notification settings. These are going to be all the system emails that people are going to get. You can turn any of these off if you want to. So if you don't want people to get the membership canceled or any of these auto emails, what's nice is like here's the renewal emails, for instance. These can be customized, of course. So they'd be your logo up here, and you can customize the words on here, customize the fields that are automatically, put in and stuff like that. Another thing that you can do too is you can choose how many of these emails you want the system to automatically send out. So like now I'm going to do one that's 5 days before. And I didn't say who's going to get it. You could also choose who's going to get it. So the admin contact, the person that's paying the bill, the primary member, which for us is like who the decision maker is, and or like all the other regular members. Again, this is in the context of a corporate membership. So you can choose, who you want to get it, and then build as many of these auto emails that go out for you automatically, so you don't have to remember to do those multi-touch points. So that's kind of everything on the membership setup part. There's a little more to it, but that's a lot of things on how you would set up your membership tiers and stuff like that. All right, I want to get over here to the modules. If anyone has any questions, please keep them coming in the chat. I'll answer them as soon as I see it. So my emails, this is where that Outlook integration will work. I don't have mine on here, but if I did, then when I connect it all one-to-one emails. Actually, my whole inbox would show up here. So I can actually manage my whole Outlook account from here. Moving down the left, we also do have tasks. So I could see what tasks that I currently have that are still open. I could see who assigned it to myself also. And then when it's done, I can, mark it as complete. And I'll show you where you would create tasks in the system. Now this contacts dashboard or the contacts module, this is going to be everyone in our database. This could be both members and non-members. In our system, you are able to engage with prospects and past members and things like that. So I'm right here. If I click this filter button, this is how I start to run reports and navigate through my data to do the things that I want to do with it. So I'm gonna click on active member here. Let's say I want to figure out a list of prospects that I want to reach out to. So I'm going to see who's not a member. Maybe I want to see who's subscribed. Like when you register for one of our events, you subscribe to our emails. Maybe we make a rule like that or something like that. And these fields, these extra fields are the custom ones that we've made. So I have one here that says drink of choice. Even though today is Thursday, it pretty much feels like a Friday. So let's see whose favorite drink of choice is vodka. So we have 3 different filters going on here. We have non-members that are subscribed and they indicate from a happy hour event that they're vodka drinkers. So with 6 people popped up here. Now in our system, we have things called smart lists. These are going to be active dynamic lists that are always going to update the roster in real time when any information changes. So let's just say I send out I create this as a smart list. I send out an email now. We put a bottle of Absolut on the campaign and we say absolutely join the Pauly G Association. Jasmine over here becomes a member. She's like, yeah, this email really speaks to me. When I send it to the same smart list next month, because Jasmine's now a member, she doesn't get the email anymore. The smart list has pulled her out since she doesn't hit all the filters anymore. And you can make smart lists for as many as you want. You can make them for members, for non-members. Another one that people typically do is new members that signed up last month. You have a smart list made for them. So that way you can send out, hey, it's been a month since you joined us. You make a newsletter about it that gives them things that they should be doing to, increase their engagement and stuff like that, right? So have as many smart lists as you want, and then you can use that when you're sending out our emails to really, send more targeted, segmented emails and things like that. I am going to now show you what someone's profile could look like. This is where we're going to do tasks and a bunch of other cool things. I'm going to click on my profile. There we go. I use my neighbor's joke here. I think my computer needs a cup of coffee right now. Let me click on here again. Sorry, bear with me 1 second here. There we go. Now we're back. There you go. Oh. Click too fast. Here we go. Yes, that is Steve Rogers above me, just in case if anyone was wondering. Well, Lowe's, you can also control all the fields that populate here. So favorite Star Wars movie, that's another one that, if you wanted to make nice little newsletters or campaign about, if they put Empire Strikes Back, I could say, oh yeah, like put Darth Vader on one of the emails and use that as the trigger to join the association. Oh no. I hope this is not my internet. Let me log out and log back in. I just got a question here. That's a really good question. Is there a place to run credit cards for one-off payments, like if want to process something for an event auction? Yes, 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 yes. And as soon as I get back in here, this is our Sandbox account, so I hope they're not doing an update while I'm in here. But yes, yes, you can for events you can send someone like a one well sort of. So the way that you would do it is you would send someone like kind of like a one-off invoice. So you just call it like event thing, and from end to end making the invoice takes like less than a minute. And then they would get the email automatically that they would pay it. And what's nice is that then tracks to their profiles and stuff like that. Um, which is of course what I'm hoping to show here. All right, let's try this one last time. Third time's a charm. That's what my mom always told me. All right, it seems like it's working faster, so I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Oh, just got another question here. Local associations partner with their state associations for two-way updates. Does GlueUp help support this? If an update is made on the state CRM, can GlueUp catch it and update the local association CRM? So, if this question is being asked in the context that they're linked together already, kind of like, so one thing we have is we have a whole chapter management solution too. So in that exact case, let's just call it like the Virginia Restaurant Association. I just came from a restaurant here. That's why I'm thinking about that. So the Virginia Restaurant Association, and then they had, a bunch of local city ones like the Fairfax and Arlington, Alexandria Restaurant Association, and they were all linked together. Like Virginia's the master account, the parent account, and all the other ones are underneath. In that case, yes, like if like all the updates that happen in the platform, like all the new features and stuff like that, that rolls out everywhere. But if they were all linked and Virginia also like added something or added new fields, added new application forms, added new workflows, that would sync to all of the local associations as well, assuming that's like what you all wanted to happen. I'm gonna see what happens if I log into like a real account, not the sandbox. I am so sorry. Thank you all for waiting here while this is getting figured out. So entering somewhere here. Just gonna try a different sandbox. Well, it looks like the event module is working for now. So maybe what I'll do is I'll hop into the event module and circle back to the contacts. Maybe that will hopefully be syncing syncing later. So one thing that's nice with us for events, any event that you create in our platform, we are going to make like a micro website for it. So you can totally have like an event landing page for any single event that's created. This one's not loading on there. Oh, there we go. So to show you what one of these event pages looks like, well, now I think it's my internet because this is an event page. Okay, so there's 10 different templates that we have for events. With these templates, you can have some event pages look, very basic, very, very easy to see the things that are going on. And then in other cases, if you have like a conference or a gala, you want to build a more like sophisticated type page, then we're able to do something like that. So when I scroll down here, for instance, so the way I built this page, I have like a main page, I have an agenda, and I've set the agenda up by day. Yes, this fake conference is happening on July 4th. I don't know why. What's cool too is you can have breakout sessions that you can require attendance for. You can limit attendance if you want to. And when I click on one of the breakout sessions, I could see who the speaker is. I could see who the conference program is. Oh, that's so funny. Actually, well, I just got a note that says the New York-based associations on here, and Adib over here is actually the New York rep. So it's so funny that you mentioned that right as I pull this up. And yes, GlueUp does. We have an API in here that we can put in. When it comes to tickets, you can do pretty much anything, any type of ticket that you can think of. You can do a member rate, you can do a non-member rate, you can do group tickets. So like this is a roundtable. So that would be me purchasing 8 tickets, a round table that can have up to 8 different tickets with me. You can do sponsors as a ticket. You can do early birds. You can do promo codes. So it's a lot of different options when it comes to tickets and what you want to do here. You can even have a sponsorship as like a ticket type. And when I click on this, it's actually going to take me straight to the checkout page for purchasing the event ticket. And I'll click on that when it loads up. So there's also a section where you can highlight your sponsors, and all of these can be clickable links. So Landry's, speaking of restaurants, right? Like Landry's, I worked at a Landry's, at the Rainforest Cafe for like 5 years. One of the funnest places I worked at. So the clickable links will go to wherever you want. But oh, sorry, I meant to go back here. So you can see here when I clicked on the sponsorship ticket, it comes with 3 different tickets in that case. That's what we preset it at. You can put it at whatever amount you want. And we got a main sponsor here. It takes me to the Marriott page. We got speakers. This pulls in from like the CRM. So if they've spoken before, they'll have a bio where you can read more about what Adib or anyone else is able to do. We have a document section here. You can highlight the venue, where it is, highlight who the exhibitors are. And then I was kind of speaking of this before, but we also have a community part for an event. So in order for me to see who's going, I have to register first. So once I register for the event and I'm behind the registration wall, I can see the other people that are attending. I can network with them. I can shoot them messages, and there's even a place where people can do like a wall of comments where people can do, posts and things like that. And so setting up the event's pretty simple. It's like 5 steps. We do the setup where it's like, what's the name of the event, the start date, the end date, what are all the different registration options? So like how many tickets do we want to sell? Do we want to allow people to transfer tickets? If they can't go, can they transfer a ticket? Do we want to allow like how many emails do we want to send, right? We think of all these different options. We could set different registration forms. So a great way that people use this is a great way to help convert like non-members to members. So what you can do is you can have a non-member ticket that collects way more pieces of information. So you can then use that information and that data to create those smart lists that do that really targeted, email marketing, and make it so that the member registration form is a lot easier. Make it like super simple for them. And you can do all the different ticket options, of course, that I said before too. When it comes to content, so we have like an event summary here. This is the stuff that we're making for the microsite. So the speakers, we pick who the speakers are, the agenda, the venue. Once we build all of that, then we start making the microsite. And the microsite is just all click and drag. So y'all probably remember I had agenda at the top before. I'm gonna click and move it down. And let's move our sponsors all the way at the top. Additionally, we can change the color. So it's funny, we have New York in here. That's definitely Yankee blue. But I'm a Knicks fan. We just hired Tom Thibodeau yesterday. I'm gonna try to get like the orange of the Knicks. It's not even close, but you kind of get the idea. Here we go. So now, just like that, now we get the orange color and the sponsors are at the top. So it's very quick and easy to move around aspects of this site. From step 3 is promote the event. So we can create an invitation list, like maybe people that attended the event last year, we put them in the invitation list. We can actually design a campaign. And this could be the first sneak peek at how the campaign thing works. What's nice about this, when I send a campaign that's tied to an event, so you can see here, I'm actually creating this campaign like completely from scratch. There was not something that was made before here. Step 1 for a campaign is who's going to get the email. This is where those smart lists would be. Or I could send it to all contacts. I could choose in essence who gets it. But in the content design part, everything that I've done in building up to the event and the summary thing all populates here automatically. So I don't have to think of an email from scratch on what to say about this event. And you can see it even chose the new close to Nick orange color that I wanted to put before. After I send a bunch of emails and we have the microsite live, we could see who's going to the event. We can run reports too for the attendee list. Like if I wanted to see like who's not a member or who bought what ticket type, who registered for what breakout sessions, right? You can run all these sort of reports and get a good understanding of, what you need to do for your event. We do design badges also. And you can customize the fields that populate here. So like the drink of choice, if that's one of the fields everyone fills out, then that will show up in everyone's badge if they fill out an answer. So, it's a nice icebreaker. You can put whatever you want in whatever fields people fill out. If you want to have that show up in badges, that's something you're able to do. And then the way to check people in, as I mentioned, you have the laptop. If you have a really, really big event, you can do like a tablet. So if you have a bunch of iPads, you just bring them, put in essence, like a website URL, and then people can check in that way. Or with the app that we have for you all as managers, you can manage it that way too. Makes it nice and quick and easy. And then once the event's done, well, actually, while the event's going on, you can look at the profit and loss for an event. The revenue part gets automatically added, like the ticket sales will automatically get added. Expenses you have to manually put in, and then you could see, if this event's profitable or not. We don't like delete these events when they're done. So if you were with us and you had an event that ran, conference I was running now, 3 years from now, you can look back and, compare this year's event to the one, 3 years in the future. And then you are also able to create surveys, up to 3 surveys for every single event. You can do like all posts or some pre, some post, just to, ask whatever you want. Cool. That's everything on the event management side. Let's actually see now. My internet seems like it's going a little faster here. Let's see if I can actually show you someone's profile, because that's the last thing I wanted to show in the CRM part. Maybe it's my profile. Oh, there we go. Okay. So all these things, were filled out when I filled out an application form, or it could have came from the event too, like the drink of choice came from an event. it's a field I want to live in someone's profile, and now it's going to live there forever until I say I want a different drink. You can log notes. So if you want to log a note, keep that history of that note, like a phone call that you had or a meeting. And this is where you can log tasks to someone too, assign it to anyone that's in the organization, set a priority level, a due date, even email to someone that they got assigned a task. The really cool part though about someone's profile is this engagement metric section. What this is going to show is like a cheat sheet of how engaged this one in particular member is. So for instance, and even if you do corporate, let's just say I'm the primary decision maker for one of the company members. So in the last 365 days, I registered for 11 events. I only checked into 3 of them, part of 2 committees. In the last 365 days, I was sent 13 emails and I only opened 5 of them. And yes, the contact info that we saw there is totally customizable. All those fields are populated there. Well, me or someone here chose all the fields that populated there. All the payments that this member is given to the organization from events or from memberships to show up here, and then all the event tickets that they've purchased. So, a nice quick snapshot of how engaged this one member is. And then what's cool, and if you do have organizational memberships, if you have corporate members, you could see the same thing on the company level. So like now GlueUp is one of the company members that we have. Same thing here, I can log notes or log tasks, have them show up on the company level. But what a lot of people like is this engagement metrics section is now going to roll up all of the employees that are tied to that company and show how engaged all of them are. So like right here, when I got this contacts engagement part, I'll go to the last 365 days. I can see which of these employees are members and all of their stats, right along here, just so makes it easy for me to know how engaged this one company is. And then also like how much payments this company has given to us between either events or memberships. If you have like sponsorships that you sell, you can see the last time whoever was a sponsorship for an event and the last time they were an exhibitor for an event. So that's all the stuff on the company side. All right, we went over events. Let me very quickly show the other place that you would send campaigns. So I already showed creating an event or start creating a campaign that was tied to an event, but we do newsletters. So now I want to send my monthly newsletter. What does that look like? July monthly newsletter. So again, step 1, who's going to get the email? We're going to send this to one of the smart lists this time. We're going to do the new members from last year or from last month. New members this month. There we go. Send that as a smart list. We know that's going to be up to date. And then we would have all the different templates here. So if you did have like a welcome member template or something like that, which is kind of like this marketing template one, it kind of is like that because it actually shows like a new member part. So you can see now all the stuff that was built in automatically from the template, like a new member spotlight or whatever. And then of course we can just change certain aspects of this. And then building an email on top, like if I want to add in our text section, I just click and drag that, or I click and drag an image to add an image. Another cool thing, you can showcase all of the events that you have upcoming in the future. So I click here, maybe I want to make them big and I want to showcase the watercolor art class, the Potomac Lacrosse Coaches Association, and the annual conference. And then on the email, people will see it like this and they'll be able to register. When they click it, it'll take them straight to the checkout page. And then after I'm done building the email, I can either send it now or I could schedule it to go out sometime in the future. And then after I send emails, this is where I could see all the stats about it, like opens, clicks, bounces, ignored, all the stuff. So it'd be really quick and easy for me to see that stuff. Just had another question come here. Oh, yes, Michael, sorry. I was asked to show how to create the one-off invoice. Thank you for the reminder. What's cool is you can completely do this on the app too. Like if you have our app, you can create an invoice from scratch. So I'll just click create invoice. I'll type in my name. Since I'm in the system already, it's going to populate all my stuff. So step one, I put in my name, then everything about it was filled out. You'd probably only have US unless if you do international. You want to allow online payments. Do you want to process the fee or not to them? And then you choose what it is. So I would probably have something here that said like auction item or whatever, have it as a category, but I'll just put like, I'll just put this one randomly. Len 360, signed Jeter jersey. Price is $200. Save, prove, and then I will get the email. There you go. Email's already sent to me. Pay now. Just put in, and if my credit card information was already saved, I wouldn't even have to like put in all the stuff. It'd be there immediately. But so that's how it works. So it's pretty quick to make it. And again, they could pay it from their phone too. Like they get the email, they click on their phone, and it would work pretty quickly that way. Okay. All right. We only got about like 11 minutes left. I'm going to show very quickly the member portal, and then we'll end with any other questions y'all might have. So this is the member portal. So the way I would get here, if I went to, VirginiaRestaurantAssociation.com and I clicked log in, and then I click community, and this is what I would see. We kind of made ours look like Facebook/LinkedIn, right? Like we wanted it to be some place that once a member sees it and they're here for the first time, they're already going to know what to do. I see someone just here posted hello back. You can add photos, you can add documents too. There is a one-to-one messaging service. So if there is a member that I connected with, or I see them on here, I can try to schedule time with them or just message them. There is an ability, this is really cool too. There is an ability for you to make different breakout groups. So like for instance, for the state of New York, and you have like a membership-based organization, if you wanted to have like different cities, like all the different associations in different cities be a breakout group. Or if you have like the question of like, what's your favorite sports team? And you want to have all the Knicks fans in one group, any reason you want to segment people together, you could totally have the smart list drive that. And when you get a new member and they fill whatever criteria, they will automatically go into whatever group. You can also have some groups that are private, some that are public, and you can kind of choose all that stuff. Now, when I click on one of the breakout groups, now I'm only seeing the posts that are tied to that breakout group, and I can message and do whatever. I could see who's in my breakout group. And if there's files you want to host as an organization for them to, for them to have to help them, you can have that all here. And then when I click on like a different group, now I see different posts and stuff like that, different participants. And if there's files in that group, I would see it. I was asked about the QuickBooks integration. So we do have, what I can do is I can put it here in the chat. We have this whole link that kind of goes over all the stuff about the QuickBooks integration. So if you have QuickBooks Online only, not desktop, we do integrate with QuickBooks Online. We also integrate with Sage Intacct and Xero, Xero for accounting. The way the QuickBooks one works specifically is every like 10 to 15 minutes it syncs. It connects both ways too, but in essence, like invoice is created on GlueUp, pushes to QuickBooks. Once it's paid on GlueUp, pushes to QuickBooks. And actually, if they like sent you a check and you closed the invoice as paid on QuickBooks, that would also sync back to glue up. But I'll post this here in the, actually, I don't know if I have the ability to post, but I can, as a fast follow, I will email this to you, Michael, so you'll have the information on it. Other stuff that is here. So the membership directory would be here. This could totally show up on the website, whether we make your website or not. We can have the membership directory show up. And what's great is you are able to customize the fields that show up. And you can even customize the fields by level. So like BH Hospitality, another restaurant company, they're the lowest level sponsor that we have. Because of that, they only get admin and website. But Landry's, they are a top tier member. Because of that, they get to show like a discount that they're doing and stuff like that. So you can have extra fields based off of levels if you wanted to. And you can do an individual directory, member directory also. There's also up to 5 different filters that you could have here too. So if you want to be able to have like a public facing directory and have certain filters that normal people, not normal people, but like non-members would use to search for your members, you can set things like that up. All the events that I'm registered for and all the upcoming events would show up here in the member directory too, and this is a place that I can register for them. I can see my active memberships, like when do I expire and stuff like that. And if I'm under my renewal period, I can even like renew from here too. Different newsletters, if you do them, this is where I can subscribe to them. If there's different committees that you do, this is where I can subscribe to a committee. And then lastly, this is my wallet would be where I can pull up any invoice that I paid and pull up the receipt and add in or modify my credit card information. So I can be auto renewed and stuff like that. And that's everything in the member portal. Everything that we showed here, our app can do, our app for the members. So all the different groups, being able to download the files, message people, book time with people, do posts, all that would show up in the app too. And the nice thing about the app, you can white label it too if you wanted to. So, if I wanted the New York Restaurant Association to show up in the App Store, in Google and in an iPhones, then and all the members, then they would download it as such, and then when they click on it, they would get right here into the member portal. But cool. Well, I always want to leave time for questions. Thank you, first of all, though, everyone, for sticking with me with the internet issues, especially that I had. I appreciate your patience, but does anyone have any other questions? Stick around here for another minute or two, just in case if anyone else does. All right. Well, thank you again, everyone, for spending your pre-July 4th day with me. Really hope everyone has a wonderful and safe July 4th weekend. It's great. It's on a Friday this year. And yeah, everyone have a great weekend. Thank you again so much for your time. And my name once again is Paul Gentili. My email is paul.gentili@glueup.com. So if you have any other questions, feel free to email me. But otherwise, thank you again so much and have a great day.